to welcome Professor Biju Toms, Director of Department of Professional Studies, Christ, deemed to be University, Professor Bhavesh Rajini, Sir, and the other resource people who have been here with us from Christ University. Let me also welcome Director of Sargakshetra Academy, Father Alex Tricolum, Assistant Director, Brother Lijin, and Sargakshetra team, and of course, the students, the chartered accountant aspirants who have joined with us in this beautiful evening. Welcome and good evening to all. First, I would request Director Father Alex Tricolum, CMI, to give the director's talk. Thank you, Father. Father, mute. Please unmute, Father.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Father, but not very audible.
Okay. Yes, now? Are you okay?
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. Thank you, Father.
Yes. Good evening, all of you, and welcome to Sargakshetra Cultural, Charitable and Academic Center. I welcome all participants to this webinar. Sargakshetra Academy is offering various training programs such as Civil Service Foundation, UGC Net Coaching, CA program, bank coaching, various languages like German, French, etc. Aim of this webinar is to help you and to find out the best opportunities in this field of commerce. I especially thank you, Professor Biju Toms, Director of Department of Professional Studies at Christ University, Bangalore, and his team for accepting our invitation to this webinar to help the participant to build their future. I hope that this webinar will help you take steps for better tomorrow. I wish you everyone a wonderful session. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, thank you.
Yesterday, we had the first talk by Biju Tom Sir, followed by the alumni from Christ University, whereas today we have Professor Bhavesh Rajini Sir, who is the coordinator for professional courses from Christ University, Department of Professional Studies, and he is there for the past 10 years. He has taught and counseled over 8,000 students. And through his guidance and counselings, many students have secured ranks, and he has helped students in their professional careers. The right person for the day, Bhavesh Rajini sir, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but a little more clarity can happen. Yeah.
Now, sir?
Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
It's
Not very, but then okay.
Let me see if I can access something that would help our cause. Just a second. I think this would help. I'm just trying to avoid this. Fair enough. I think this would, to an extent, do help us. Probably now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Has this improved audibility?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, a very good evening, and first of all, a very big thank you to Father Alex, CMI, for inviting us, to Professor Biju Toms, to my team members, CA Dalbir Singh, Babra, and all the other revered faculty members of Sargakshetra. And my dear CA aspirants over here, there's some talk that I'm going to do. Spend all my life, something around of 30 out of 38 years of my life. Yes, don't go by my hair color. The reason is the lockdown. I'm not able to find a barber to help myself. So out of 38 years of my life, 13 years uh, I've spent teaching, counseling students in the course of chartered accountancy. So I would give you a lowdown as to this course and how to go about it. You can ask me queries at the end, right? Now, 10 years of coordinatorship, as Marina ma'am mentioned. So I've some experience to help you out in this hour of yours when in class 11, 12, that's the turning point of the life. That is when you need to decide. From here, another 5 to 7 years of your life, what you do actually decides where do you stand. Now, coming on to this, first of all, I want to ask this very, very simple question without the slide being moved at all. What is a chartered accountant? Every time you take up something in life, you have to figure out what it is rather than directly jumping into it. Can I have something in my chat box over here? What is a chartered accountant, or rather, who is a chartered accountant? Any clue? I don't find any messages in the chat box. I suppose the chat box is very much accessible to all of you out there. People are wondering, and you are here for this presentation on chartered accountancy, trying to learn. And yes, I would like to have some input. Let it be wrong. There's no crime in that. CA is a person who manages finances of individuals or organizations. CA is a professional degree, right, related to finance. CA is a professional course. Anyone else? One who calculate the accounts. Now I have to deconstruct that. One who handles accounting of some firms. One thing, guys, what I learned from these 5, 6, 7 odd self-made definition of yours, yes, I would call it self-made definitions. The reason is because one more in, one who audit the firm books of accounts. Fair enough. So a lot in, but as a right, CA is the only person who has the right to audit the financial statements. Chartered accountants is the person who audits. So finally, let me tell you that your scope of understanding of what chartered accountancy is extremely narrow. Are you getting my point? You are seeing it in a very, very narrow light. A person who makes the books of accounts, right? A person who checks the finances, a person who audits. Auditors are generally seen with persons with magnifying glass, right? So the way you're viewing it is very, very narrow, because I have been in this field and trained a number of students. On my personal account, I can just say there are more than 300 chartered accountants only on my personal account that I can recollect and I am in touch with. There would be more than 300 chartered accountants, and they are in so very different fields. And at times I wonder the way this has evolved. It's not only about auditing or checking, right? Only tax, right? So the scope is actually humongous. At times I have to figure out from my students, my dear, what you are doing, and they say, sir, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What one of my students as of now in Credit Suisse is doing some Basel compliance, so that is related to banking, credit rating, right? There are such a plethora of opportunities available, and people just put it to tax, audit, Making the books of accounts. When you talk about CA, you're wondering with a person with a lot of files and checking and making one file after the other. No, that's not the case. That's not at all the case. First of all, you have to understand that there are number of opportunities available and the market is so dynamic. New jobs are evolving, the current jobs are changing, and everywhere you require the knowledge of finance, the knowledge of accounts. At the end of the day, it gets merged into, mingled into these fields with advent of technology, and leads to creation of more different job opportunities, right? So let me give you a lowdown, just a brief, right? I've seen my students doing credit rating stuff. They are into sales, they are into finance, they help in marketing. There are people who are CFOs in the startups, right? So there is so many job opportunities. They are bankers, they are investment bankers, they are risk managers, right? One of the most important job opportunities that is available to an aspirant in the field of finance is risk management. In times of COVID, in such uncertain times, risk management stands tall, and they are probably one of the highest paid people around the globe, right? Even chartered accountants can participate, and they are participating, and they are taking occupying positions in risk management as well. There are such many complex job profiles, so we cannot restrict it to some 2 3 criterias, right? So yes, one person has written, Sile has written over here, risk management is also one thing. So first of all, why we are talking about chartered accountancy, and personally speaking, why I've spent 13 years in this field. One thing, the evolution has actually made me relish the field so much. One, teaching is my passion, and second is the way this field has evolved, engulfing too many things over a period of time, and it has made more holistically developed individuals, right? Rather than, people generally think that chartered accountant is a tunnel vision person. No, he's not, right? Kumar Mangalam Birla is a chartered accountant. Rakesh Junjanwala is a chartered accountant. Yesterday, our alumni gave a list of people who are in different fields, and they are chartered accountants, right? So first of all, try, whenever you plunge into a field, try to know the scope of the field. That's very important, right? If I would be jumping in a well thinking it's an ocean, trust me, I'm going nowhere, right? So yes, Deepak Parekh, the legend, right, who created the 30% machine. HDFC is known as the 30% machine, right? So first of all, understanding the scope. So over in the slide, if you can notice, I'll come to the slide now, because I'm one guy who would keep on talking, and then figure out that I've lost the time. So over here, I'm talking about the job opportunities. Now, one thing, can CS practice? And this is the most easiest question that I can pose to anyone. Obviously, you would say, yes, sir, they can practice, right? Isn't it? Now, what do you mean by practicing in the field of CA? First, understand the scope of the thing that you're going in, the opportunities available, then the way forward, and that is how you need to plan yourself. I always believe meticulous planning is what makes you successful, rather than being extremely talented. If you can, after this program, you can just check out who is Efren Reyes, the one person I would like to quote, and because I would forget at the end, I would like to quote him now. He said, the more I practice, the luckier I become. Everyone said he's a legendary pool player. Everyone says, Efren, you are very lucky. You can just hit the shot and the ball goes into the pocket. He said these very lines, these very famous lines, the more you practice, the luckier you become. So would come to that part later on. Now coming to opportunities, after understanding the scope is very large, obviously the opportunities would be equally large. Am I right? So one, you can practice. You can be completely a self-made man, your ideas, your businesses. And what do you do in practice? Basically, you are an advisor, a financial consultant for anything under the sun, practically. The client wants to come out with a project, you can do project appraisal for him. He has to file taxes, you can help him out with that. GST, such complex structure, right? The chartered accountant can guide you. Then you have finance related issues, anything, raising of loans, funds, anything and everything is done technically by a chartered accountant in terms of practice and even more, right? Now, in terms of job, we have Avni Mehta today. She would be discussing a bit about her experience. She's an All India ranker and I would be giving a brief profile of her before she starts speaking. There's some time to go for that. So in job, chartered accountant, again, as I told you, technically occupies any position, every position, and obviously it's a higher position. After studying for such a difficult course, you don't expect a chartered accountant to occupy any lower position, right? See over here, financial analysis and M&A, mergers and acquisition is a thriving market now. And capital markets, investment banks. I was talking about credit rating agencies, right? Barring Credit Suisse, guys, do you have any idea regarding a credit rating agency? Have you heard of CLASA? Right? These guys pay really well, trust me. Right? Have you heard of credit rating agencies? CLASA? Right, do a little bit of research on credit rating agencies. Credit rating agencies are one of the most thriving businesses. Dinbandhu, I'd be answering your doubts. Obviously, the answer is no, until unless you are willfully staying unemployed, right? So, yes, Moody's is there, CLASA is there. There are so many companies. It's a thriving business. You are the next gen. You have to look at the opportunities that are coming ahead. You don't look at the old world way of doing things. I would always recommend that, right? Project financing, right, is something very, very common, but of late, project financing, at least in this COVID times, is not something which is the most thriving thing. But obviously, it is one of the branches of business. And trust me, as soon as this goes out of picture, the COVID goes out of picture, this comes with a bang again, right? Consulting, I was talking about this. And there is something known as DISA and CISA that you can pursue after chartered accountancy. It's a very short course. It integrates the knowledge of chartered accountancy along with information systems. And today's world is all about garnering the correct information, doing the analytics right. So that is what you can do in terms of consulting, right? Training. There are a lot of chartered accountants. Over here, I have written that they can train employees on accounts, tax, finance. But let me tell you that if you are one who is having a knack for academics, let me tell you, there are a number of team members in my team who are chartered accountants and they are into teaching because they are fab teachers. They're fabulous teachers. One of them is Dalbir Singh Babra. Today he has joined us. There is CS Sunil Amlani. There is a host of people. I would be just showing one slide of people. And there are some very, very experienced names like CA Vikas Oswal, a legend, teaching since last 20 years. So what kind of knack do you have? If you have a knack for academics and a knack for language and speaking and making people understand, and if you're thrilled by it, training is also a rewarding profession, right? Practice, as I told you, there is almost 40% of the chartered accountancy community, 35 to 40% of the chartered accountants go into practice because over a period of time, some of the practicing chartered accountants are one of the super rich people. Let me tell you that, because that is one of the reasons you take up the course, right? High social esteem, self-esteem, and a lot of money in your bank account, right? So practice is one of the most rewarding things that you would come across, right? Now, going ahead a little, I want to talk about the body ICI. So we talked about the scope, right? And talked about the job opportunities. There are plenty. Now talking about the institute, and it is one of the most revered institute across the world. There's a Chartered Accountancy Act of 1949. It's a statutory body established by the Act of the Parliament. I'm not reading it directly, right? So it is one of the largest accounting bodies, right, in the world. One of the largest, I mean, the second largest to be precise. Now, just a run through of CA, that's more important because that is the purpose, and I would take your doubts later on, Sakshi. Now, this is one of the largest accounting bodies in the world, the second largest to be precise, right? And there are a number of members, but less than 3 lakh. Let me tell you that. On the entire globe, practicing professionals plus chartered accountants at job are less than 3 lakhs. That itself tells you that the exams are really difficult. I would come to that bitter part of exams at the latter end, right? Some talk from heart I would want to do, because I've taught so many people, and there is a trait of successful people or successful students which I'll share with you before I leave on, right? Currently, there are more than 8 lakh enrolled students. As we go ahead, we would go on to the next slide, not wasting much of your time, right? Now, I would just give you a lowdown on our performers. Over here, with my experience at Christ University, CA Foundation, let me tell you that it got introduced in May 2018. Before, there was something known as CPT, right? CPT is all about ticking. So people used to take it pretty loosely, right? I'll come to that, Alok. I'll come to that. Needn't worry. And faculties at Sargakshetra would help you clarify all your doubts, right? Now, because when I don't answer doubts, I feel pretty uncomfortable more than the student. So I'm just my eyes somehow go into the window over here. Now, CA Foundation, now it has become a hybrid paper that Dalbir Singh sir would be taking you across. It's a mix of objective and subjective types. Means some bit of tick. There are 200 marks wherein you have to tick. MCQ based, what we call MCQ, refers to multi-choice questions, and there are 200 marks which you have to write a lot about, right? Something like an accounts paper and your law paper, right? So these are the latest rankers list that I would just like to portray over here to all our participants, right? Yes, there's accounts, there's law, there is business reporting and correspondence, there's business economics, right? There are a number of rankers. So this is our track record at our revered university, and that's almost always 2x or more than what the All India track record holds. Yes. So the facts and figures put in over here are all after a tremendous lot of hard work from me and my team members and the wonderful students out there. Now, Bushra has been the best scorer till date. Just giving you a lowdown of some of our best performers. All India 4th rank is not a mean feat, trust me. Even at the foundation level, she scored 342, I suppose, right? And then there is a list of other rankers, right? Ishika topping the list with 22nd rank All India. I would like to also mention intermediate results, right? One of the most brightest students who's currently again working at Deloitte. You met 2 people from Deloitte yesterday. I couldn't get Yash Agarwal because he was plotted on a client. He is an All India 24th rank holder, right? You would see his name flashing on the screen. He is All India 24th rank with 608 marks in his attempt, and a fabulous fellow, right? Again, this is just comparative analysis of averages that we generally put in all our presentations, right? So this is Yash Agarwal, the only rank holder from Karnataka in this attempt. That was November 2018, and the results in Inter are again 2-3x because of our wonderful students and the setup at the campus that we have. Now, before I move ahead and go on to talk about Avni Mehta and stuff and about her journey, excellent, again, a brilliant student, right? I would like to talk a little about my team members. This is me on the left. See, I'm not having that many white hairs, right? So there is 2 people, especially I would like to talk about all our legends over here. CA Vikas Oswal, I was talking about, a very, very eminent personality. You can just Google him out, a very famous person, Professor Sandeep Sengupta, right? We have one of the best relations that I've come across among faculties, because he loves economics, I love economics, and we share this bond of discussing subject at this age, right? He's much senior than me. And then you can see Harsh Dhanuka, CA Rohit are all nothing but students of Christ University. And from the Department of Professional Studies, including Dalbir sir, they are either batchmates, seniors or juniors who have now joined us. My team, they are my students and now faculties, and there is no better and proud moment for a faculty to see his students turning into renowned faculties, right? So Rohit sir is a specialist in direct and indirect tax, whereas Harsh sir is a specialist in finance, and he's going to write his level 3 due to COVID. He couldn't write. He would clear his level 3 in no time, because not a single exam in his life, I don't think so he's repeated any, because he's cleared all levels at first attempt, whether it's an Indian degree or an international degree, right? Now I'll come to Avni Mehta, but before that, I just want to take 2 minutes of yours. I'll just check, do I have time on hand, right? I don't have much, but I can spare 2 minutes, right? Now, few things I would like to say, and we'll do answer some things at the doubt session. One thing, guys, if you're enjoying something, I repeat, if you're enjoying something, do take it up. Have a guide and a mentor for you who can tell you what to do, what not to do, how to go about it, right? When Avni turns up, she would be telling about her journey, and you can find that there was some bit of guidance also from my end, what little I could provide, right? So always figure out what you want to do in life, what you enjoy doing in life, right? There would be days, even when you take up things that you enjoy, you may not be able to perform at your peak, but that is just a passing phase before you touch your peak, right? Keep that in mind. There are a lot of questions that Sargakshetra would be answering, I would be answering. They would be at your help and disposal, guys. So nothing to get worried about. The necessary hand holding would be done. I'm looking at the chat box and getting tempted to answer, but for paucity of time, because we have to accommodate, because the entire course structure would be also shared by Dalbir sir. One thing I would like to say, what I've learned from my mentor, Professor Biju Toms, almost a decade full of experience under him. One thing he always says, Bhavesh, be passionate, which I was always, and his guidance made me even more passionate for the things I'm doing in life. I'm always excited. Let me tell you, on a Sunday, we had some classes, some seminars, and today, probably this is the 7th hour of lecturing I'm doing. So maybe you can feel a little bit of hoarseness in my voice. So one thing you have to be passionate about, the course is not difficult. Trust me, a lot of people talk about this, that the course is difficult. Let me tell you, nothing is difficult if you are well prepared, if you are passionate, if you are ready to run behind it, right? One inspirational story that I would like to leave on, and maybe just this is something I would like to share. There was this girl from a very financially backward background, right? Uh, she, after failing 4 attempts in CA final, secured first All India rank in CA final, and she did wonders. You would have read it in newspaper everywhere, right? So there is nothing like failure as such. It is whenever you do not pass, you just sit back, relax, rethink, reorganize, and get going. That is how life is. It's not going to be fair and easy as it has been till now. But let me tell you, when you take up something, take up with all passion, and trust me, it will be all worth it at the end of the day. Now, coming to Avni, I'll just give you a little bit of insight about Avni Mehta, right? A daughter of an accountant. Avni Mehta secured 175 marks in CPT. Avni, you can correct me later on if I'm wrong. Let me check if my memory is good enough. It was 2013, I suppose. December 2013, she wrote CPT. Then she wrote IPCC, and IPCC, she secured All India 41st rank. I'm not reading this. This is all back of my mind, all the results of my students. And then she wrote CA final in November 17. All at first attempt, she secured All India 47th rank, if I'm correct. So all through her journey, I've been there. And she's been an excellent student, joined Flipkart, later on joined Reckitt and Benckiser. And here is Avni Mehta. I'm leaving it to you, not to talk long, but trust me, I was so excited to address you all. So I will pass the baton on to Avni Mehta to share her experience, direct lowdown from a ranker chartered accountant, to know what the life was and is for her. Over to Avni Mehta.
Thank you, sir. We are searching for Avni Mehta, ma'am. Okay, as Avni ma'am join in. Ma'am, we're waiting. Okay, as Avni ma'am join in, let me thank this meticulous faculty, Bhavesh Rajani, sir. Thank you very much, sir. He started off checking your pre-knowledge students, and he was asking you, who is a CA and what is the scope and opportunities of a CA. He was trying to make you understand about ICAI and about the facts and tracks of Christ and the faculty members also. If Avni Mehta is taking time to join in, I think ma'am has come in. Yes. As sir was saying, she is a Christ University student for BCom, and she was the topper in Bangalore for CPT as well as BCom and IPCC. As sir said, she secured her 41st rank, and for the CA final, All India rank 47. Please clap for Avni Mehta. She's coming. Students, give your thumbs up and clap. There is a reaction below there. Yeah, ma'am. Please. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. Thanks everyone who has joined in. It's great to speak to you guys now. I mean, first of all, the fact that you guys are here and you're trying to figure out what this is or what this is about, that's kudos to you all for joining in. In the middle of this pandemic, you want to still learn, you're striving to do your best. I think that already shows that you are definitely interested and you're trying to make the best of the time available with you guys. Coming to my journey, I mean, I'm a science student. So science, commerce, whatever you're taking in 11th and 12th, it is okay. If you want to be a CA, you can definitely take up science and still, I mean, join this course. For me, I mean, when I was starting off, obviously, when you are in 11th and 12th grade, you are wondering because you have too many options, too many, I mean, if you had taken maybe biology also, you can even become a doctor. So, I mean, the types of options you have during these times is definitely like there's a plethora of these opportunities available with you. Why CA? This was a very important thing for me. I was very worried. I was like, I'm a science student. Will this work out? And I mean, shall I join in? So obviously, when I was starting off, the first thing I went was to my dad. He's a CA. And he was like, too much hard work. Don't do it. If you fail, you can't take it. So don't do it. I was like, no, I like challenges. I'm up for it. So I went to my dad's boss. He is a CA final gold medalist. And he had also done BSc. So back in time, like you could do a BSc and still join. Even you can still do it now. But I mean, now post-science people do that. So I started off this whole conversation with him. I'm like, I'm a science student, so it'll be boring, right? Like, there'll be too many facts and figures. I mean, there is no chemistry, physics, and biology. I might not be interested. He's like, no. I mean, you have a lot of questions, right, when you are starting off. So he said, it's a big challenge, but you'll definitely enjoy it. And if you're in it, go with your 100%. So that was a big advice for me. I started off and I gave my CPT in December 2013, as sir said. And I joined Christ University. I'm so lucky to have had Bhavesh sir all through my, all through my journey of CA final, I mean, CA, CPT, and then IPCC, and then CA final. I was very lucky to have him around. I mean, thank you so much, sir, first of all, for having me here. And obviously, and half the reason I'm here is because of you. So, I mean, it's a big deal to have teachers like this, and they help you and they guide you throughout your journey. So stick with them. I mean, if you do find good mentors, good teachers, do listen to them, do stick around and give your best. So coming to how I did it and why I did it. The first time around in CPT when I scored well, it was quite unexpected. I was like, I mean, if I clear, it's enough and all of that. But I did pretty well. And the next time when I got a rank, it was a shocker. I mean, I was like, really, have I really gotten a rank? So you don't realize how much potential you have when you are starting off. So you don't know that you will be a ranker tomorrow, day after. You don't know what you are capable of. So it's very important to believe in yourself all throughout these years. Do know that the amount of efforts you put in will be paid off. No matter what, if you take, I mean, obviously clearing in first attempt is huge. is difficult. Getting ranks in both your attempts is definitely not an easy task. But if you have set your mind to it, I think there's no stopping you. And if you like being challenged, if you like taking on something which is difficult, definitely this is the course for you. Do come in. And I mean, the kind of rewards you are going to get. I had no idea I'll be partying in South Africa, in Johannesburg, when I'm 21, 22. It's amazing to be where you are. I mean, you will definitely go globetrotting, not an issue. You will make a lot of money. I mean, getting a rank in both your attempts and the kind of job opportunities you have. I mean, obviously having your own practice, and as Sir said, you can become a teacher, and there are so many options available with you. But the way your CVs get selected, I mean, it's beautiful. You will be surprised that there are so many companies, so many big companies, so many amazing work cultures. They want to work with you. So it does feel good to be here. And I'm very thankful to Sir for supporting me and guiding me throughout. One thing I would like to tell you all guys is don't be confused once you are in. Once you are in, do not let go of this course. It will be difficult. It is going to play a lot of mind games. I mean, a lot of people around you are going to play a lot of mind games. This course is more of your mental strength as well. It's not only how much of technical knowledge you can gain, how much you can mug up, or how much you can, like just get out and no, it's not about that. CA is a different sort of a course. I mean, it's a professional degree and it tests you in and out, and it actually prepares you for life. Trust me, once you have cleared your like, up to we can do a lot. Like you gain a lot of confidence in yourself that you actually are capable of so much. So thank you all. Thank you so much for joining in. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Don't pursue it. Not an impossible course. There are so many CAs, Sir just listed out. Definitely not impossible. I'm sitting right here. It is difficult, but worth it. Worth every amount of effort that you're putting in. So please do join, please. 21. Yeah, I was 21 when I had given my November 17 final.
Thank you very much, young chartered accountant, Avni Mehta, rank holder, that your simplicity and how nicely you are explaining to the students to be very oriented in whatever they are doing. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that. And may God bless you from all of us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, students, next we have CA Dalbir Singh. You must have seen the faculty team, the picture which Bhavesh Rajani sir was showing you, boasting about his faculty team, all chartered accountants. And we saw this young CA Dalbir Singh also over there. He is with Christ for the past 3 years. And before that, he was working for NGOs, another 3 years for unprivileged kids. So he has been a faculty for past 6 years, and he's working in his alma mater now. He is also an alumni from Christ. Sir, please.
Good evening, everyone present here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll be taking you through the road journey, the journey throughout what you will be facing in your CA. How, as I think one of my juniors yesterday, Anirudh would have shown you that CA program is a roller coaster. So let's understand and see from where to where we go. Now, as we all know that in CA program, there are basically 3 levels. We will discuss each and every level in detail. Then coming from the starting point. So the starting point of your roller coaster is when you start and register with the ICAI and for the CA Foundation program. Now the ICAI requires that your CA Foundation is basically a 4-month study period. So basically you have to dedicate 4 months in studying, and then you become eligible to attempt the examination, depending upon when you register, either until June 30th or December 31st, you become eligible in writing either the November attempt or your May attempt. Then once you write an foundation attempt, you qualify. Now I will be also telling you how the qualification is there, what are the criteria that you need to pass in order to be called CA Foundation qualified. Once you actually clear the foundation level, then you are required to actually register for the next part of the roller coaster, that is your CA Intermediate. Now, ICA requires that when you register for CA Intermediate, between the registration date and your examination date, you should have at least 8 months of study period. Yes, why? Because when you talk about CA Intermediate has two groups, Group 1 and Group 2. Okay, you have 8 papers to write. So in order to do justice to that course, or in order to do justice to that level, you need time to study. So the ICS says that you have to have at least 8 months of your study between registration and exam. Now, once you actually go through your CA Intermediate, okay, you have to do articleship, internship basically, in under any chartered accountant. Now, the criteria to go for articleship is that you have to clear at least one group or both groups. It is highly advisable that you start your articleship when you clear both groups. Why? Because there are a lot of challenges that you might face when you actually go to articleship with one group. One of the major challenges is holidays. Okay, if you do not get sufficient holidays, you might not be able to prepare for your next or the second group that is left out. So if you ever plan to go for articleship, ensure that you have cleared both the groups of the CA Intermediate. Now, before you actually go to articleship, now there are 2 trainings that you have to do. ICITSS. Now, basically that means is integrated course for information technology and soft skills. Now, what you basically learn in this training is that you will learn about different spreadsheets. You will learn about CAT tools. CAT tools are basically computer-assisted audit techniques. Then you will learn about the different database management system. Now, all this is actually required for you to know before you go for articleship. Why? Because nowadays, everything that you see is either stored electronically. Now, the manual thing is not there. So it's highly required that you know how it actually works in the electronic environment. That is why this course is there, this training is there. Then you have orientation. Now, basically orientation, they will basically prepare you for your presentation, your communication skills, all those skills that you actually require for your articleship. So these are actually a prerequisite training that you have to do before you go for a 3 years articleship. Now, the whole period of 3 years is for training under your CA. Now, it is a very learning experience. If you ask me, I actually did my articleship from a Big 4 PwC, and it was an enriching experience all through that 3 years that I was there. Then, now when you actually register for your articleship, you actually are eligible to simultaneously register for the last level, that is the CA final. Now, when the question is, when are you eligible to write CA final? Now, with the articleship going. Now, the ICS says that in your last 6 months, that is after you finish 2.5 years of your articleship, you become eligible to write the CA final examination. Okay. Now, before that, now the option here is you have to finish again. There are couple of trainings again you have to do. Now, that is advanced ICITSS. Now, again, what is the difference between the first ICITSS and this? Now, in this, you basically learn more about how do you audit in an ERP environment. Yes, what are the different, how do you use Excel as an audit tool, advanced Excel. Excel is a handy tool that that every article will learn, and it is a very good software. Then other is management and communication skills. Now, what is the difference between the orientation skills and MCS program here? Now, here, basically what they do is they will fine tune your presentation, communication skills. They will inculcate leadership skills. Yes, they will try making you do presentation, how to become a good professional going ahead. Why? Because you are to the fag end of your CA journey, and knowing and becoming a good professional is what the ICI wants. So they are inculcated all these trainings for that, so that you actually come out as a good professional. Now, once you actually write your examination after 2.5 years of articleship, and after completing successfully all these trainings and finishing your 3 years articleship period, okay, you are actually called a CA. You can actually affix CA against your name. Okay, you can actually become a member of the institute. Okay, being a member of the institute is one of the privileges I have, and I'm proud to be an institute of. I'm proud to be a member of the institute. Now this is the end of the roller coaster. Okay, at this point you've actually become a chartered accountant. Okay, throughout this whole journey. Now, after you actually know what exactly you're going to go into, let's dig a little deeper in each of these levels. Now, as you know, a foundation is an entry-level program, and you become eligible to actually attempt the foundation after your 12th examination. After you actually successfully pass 12th, you become eligible for your CA foundation. Now, as Bhavesh sir earlier mentioned, that this is actually a mixture of subjective type and objective type. Now, if you see, the first two papers are subjective, which means you have to basically write answers, accounts, law, the correspondences that you find in businesses. Okay, you basically write. This is a subjective paper. Coming to your paper 3 and paper 4. Okay, basically an MCQ test, and you have negative marking, so 0.25. So be careful when you actually attempt any answer. For maths, stats, economics. Yes. Now, after you attempt, when are you called that you qualify the foundation level? Now, there are actually two criteria that you need to keep in mind. One is 40% and the other is 50%. Now, what does this mean? Now, as we know, foundation has 4 papers, okay, of 100 marks each, which means the total marks that you're going to attempt is for 400. Now, the first condition is you have to at least score 50% in aggregate of all the 4 papers, which basically means that out of the 400, you have to score at least 200. Yes. Now, this is not just the criteria. Along with scoring 200, you need to pass in each of the 4 papers. Okay. And you have to secure a minimum of 40% in each of the papers. Now, if you see 40, 40, 40, and 40, you actually come to 160. Okay. But you don't meet the second criteria, which is 200. So you do not clear. Even though you pass each paper, you don't clear. Okay. So you have to ensure that, keeping in mind that you pass all papers as well as you get the aggregate of 200 when you actually go for the foundation attempt. Yes. Once you clear the foundation, then comes the second level of CA, which is the intermediate course. Now, the ICA has 2 routes. One is that you can come through the foundation route, or you can come to the direct entry route. Okay, we're going to focus more on the foundation route here. So after you qualify on foundation, okay, you come to the intermediate level. Now, as I said earlier, intermediate has 2 groups. Okay, in group 1, again, you're going to learn about accounting, law, costing, taxation, both indirect and direct. Now, if you see, the first level, that is the foundation level, was basically of applied knowledge. Yes, basically setting the premise of the whole CA foundation. Now, you need to know those basics before you actually go into the intermediate. Now, if you see, you're going to dig deeper. Okay, you're going to go drill deeper into the course. Now, you're going to learn in depth of accounts. You're going to learn in depth of company law. What is costing, income tax, GST. Okay, I'm just talking about the first group here. When I talk about second group, again, you're going to learn more about accounting. Okay, so basically, you're going to learn normal accounting and advanced accounting. Okay, again, I said this is an in-depth program here. Then you're going to learn about auditing, which is all CAs do need to know what auditing is. Then you have something on IT, which is information system and SM. Then you have financial management, the finance part here of the course. Now, if you see, if I have to break this down, if I have to give some core values here. Now, in the foundation level, you have applied knowledge. Whereas when you talk about intermediate, along with applied knowledge, you will also learn about analysis. How do you analyze? Yes. How do you analyze financial statements? Okay. What are the different things you need to know in finance? Yes. How do you make strategies? Okay. So that is what you come to the second level here, which is the intermediate program. Now, after the intermediate comes the final level. Okay, there's nothing but the last leg of your CA journey. Okay, so the only way to get here is to qualify the intermediate, that is the second level. Again, in the final level, that is the final course, you have 2 groups. If you see financial reporting, again, is accounts here. You're going to dig deeper into accounts. Yes, more deeper. You're going to learn about Ind AS. Okay. Then you have strategic financial management. You're moving from financial management to strategic financial management. Then you have advanced auditing. You have more company law. Yes, you have strategic cost management, which is nothing but costing. Then you have elective papers that bases on what you choose. Okay, you can actually choose elective papers, what your interests are. Then you have income tax, again, in detail, along with international taxation that you will learn. and you have indirect tax loss. All this together is an 800 marks paper. Even comparing your intermediate is 800 marks, your final is 800 marks. Now, if you see the final level, okay, it is again a step-by-step process that you need to know your applied knowledge, that is a CA foundation. Then you need to know what you actually learned in your intermediate, which is nothing but your analysis. Then comes here in the foundation, in the final program, that is your evaluation. You will learn about evaluation more, and you also have the hybrid of all these when you come to the final program. Now, passing criteria for intermediate and final is the same. What basically mean is, say if I'm talking about one group, okay, when you said that you clear that group, the same criteria, which is nothing but 40% and 50% of that group. Basically, let's say if I have secured 250 in the first group and 100 in the second, I clear the first group. Why? Because in aggregate, okay, I have actually gone past 200. So because the first group has 4 papers, 400 marks. So in order to clear that group, I need at least 200 marks in that group, and I have to pass on all papers. Okay, that is when I'm said that I've actually cleared that group. Now, when you actually clear both groups, okay, there's a thing called set off. Okay, now what do you mean by set off? Now, as I said earlier, the intermediate as well as the final program has 8 papers. Okay, 4 in group 1 and 4 in group 2. Now, the 50% criteria when you write both groups apply to all the 8 papers, which basically means out of the 800 marks that you're going to attempt, okay, you need 400. Okay, now the institute has not put a criteria that you have to score 200 in group 1, 200 in group 2. No. Let's say you get 40, 40, 40, 40 in group 1, which is 160. Okay, now technically if you see, okay, you just have 160 and you haven't crossed the 200 marks. But you get 240 in the second group, okay, which means the total, if you add group 1, group 2, you have 400. You have actually cleared both the groups. Now, this is known as set off. Okay, this is actually available in the intermediate as well as the final level of your chartered accountancy. Okay, you can take the benefit of a set off. Then coming to the exemption part, if you score 660 in any paper, you are told that you have exemption. What do you mean by exemption? You do not have to write the same paper in case you do not get through the group. Okay, so that is nothing but your exemption. Now, this is if you clear all this, if you pass the whole 3 levels, okay, and finish all the trainings, you can be deemed to become a chartered accountant. You can affix CA against your name. Now, this was all about the journey that you will go through in the CA program. Okay, it is a lot of learning experience and a lot to know, a lot of knowledge that you will gather. When you pass through all the 3 levels, when you go through your articleship, you're going to learn a lot. These trainings will help you hone your skills. And by the end of the day, once you clear your chartered accountancy, it is a whole new experience and a wonderful feeling. I hope this presentation would at least tell you as to how or what is the actual roadmap of a CA program.
Oh, that was perfect, sir. The process and the subjects, everything you explained so well. Thank you very much, sir. And let me take this opportunity to thank the whole team once again. Dedicated Vijay Thomas, sir, our director, who was yesterday explaining about the divergent opportunities in commerce, and a passionate faculty, Bhavesh Rajani sir, who was telling you about the scope of this career. And we just had CA Dalbir Singh sir also to tell you about the process and the subjects, all the details about being a chartered accountant. And we had our humble rank holder, Avni Mehta, keeping on telling you to be persistent, no need to worry about the hard work. And yesterday we had 2 big brothers, Anirudh and Raghavendra, telling about the roller coaster journey. But that journey finally bring you to, it seems to be a very worth journey which improves your status, social status, financial status and all. So that was a whole package of chartered accountancy of 2 days. Thank you very much, Christ team, for giving so much of your time for the young aspirants. On behalf of Sargakshetra, I thank you all. Students, once again, let's thank them all. Okay, now I think there are plenty of doubts popping up, and we have Chartered Accountant Binu Matthew sir on behalf of Sargakshetra, who will be training students through Sargakshetra to this course. So your questions can be asked to Binu Matthew sir as well as to the team members from Christ. Anybody would be answering you, and you can be chatting throughout. And as they are getting ready, as you are getting ready, you can keep on you can chat and ask your questions. In the meantime, I'll explain about the course which we have planned in Sargakshetra for you. We have planned it along with your course. If you are in class 11, along with your subject, whichever is happening, you just have covered 1 month of your coaching in your school, in your class. So whatever portions you have learned so far in 1 month, we will be handling simultaneously through the CA Foundation program. It is a weekend program of 3 hours, only in weekends and public holidays. And in a year, we will be able to give you 120 hours of coaching while you are in class 11, simultaneously with the portions which you are learning, which means it will enhance your studies in the school also, as well as you will be getting ready for your Chartered Accountancy Foundation courses. And as you grow and go to class 12, again, you will be trained for 120 hours, but at that time, it will be twice a week. I mean, in the weekend itself, maybe 2 days we will take and we will be training you for 6 hours. And once you finish your 12th standard, there will be an intensive coaching of another 120 hours, which will be preparing you for the CA Foundation thoroughly. And I invite chartered accountant, a young chartered accountant who also has cleared his chartered accountancy in the first attempt. And he is a student of Placid Vidya Vihar, which is a sister concern of Sargakshetra, as well as he had registered for his Chartered Accountancy Foundation through Sargakshetra, and he is a faculty member of Sargakshetra now. So over to Binu Matthew, Chartered Accountant.
Good evening, everyone. And the first, I'm a qualified chartered accountant, as ma'am said, and the first testimony is that I got my CA Foundation registration from Sargakshetra itself, and here we will be providing a 3-year course in 3 stages. As you can see in the screen, which has been shared, the subjects we will be covering is the subjects which are a part of CA Foundation examination, that are Principles and Practice of Accounting, Business Laws and Business Correspondence and Reporting, Business Maths and Logical Reasoning, Business Economics. Now, out of these 4 subjects, accountancy is similar to an advanced version of a +1 and +2 accountancy. Business Laws and Corresponding Reporting will be a new portion for you. Business Maths, Logical Reasoning and Statistics will be kind of part of your economics and basic maths. And Business Economics and Commercial Knowledge, this subject is related to a +1, +2, Business Studies for CBSE students and Commerce for ICC students. So here we have designed a course in a way that while you're studying your +1 and +2, we'll be providing you weekend classes from here. So weekend classes for CA Foundation will help you not only in preparing for your CA Foundation, but also for preparing for your school exams. So as per this program, CA Foundation advanced version of your +1, +2, as you can understand now. Okay, so our designing will be in such a way that we can study both CA Foundation and school along in a similar way in +1, +2 weekend. The first day will be 120 hours, second day will be 120 hours, class 11th and class 12th. Now, after completion of your board in March examination, March month, we'll be conducting a 3rd stage, that is April, May, 2 months of classes for 120 hours. That will be for CA exam oriented way. You have to write exam in November. So after March board examination, we'll be conducting another session of exam-oriented classes. We'll be doing past question papers, solving mock test papers, revision test papers, and conducting several exams. So you can prepare and write your CA foundation exam in November and secure well. Okay. So this is the 3 stages, +1, +2, and after board examination for CA examination, CA foundation. So our course design is in such a way that you can clear your +1, +2 with good marks and also pass the CA foundation examination the first attempt itself. So we'll be providing the management contact number. So you can contact for more doubts or personalized doubts, or if you want a personalized classes. Moreover, now suppose if you are in class 12th, so what we can do is we can admit you in the class 12th itself. That is second year of our coaching. You can go by that. You will be studying about your board examination concepts also, and after board exam, you can also pursue for CA foundation. All the registration and notes will be provided from our institution itself. So you can join our courses in the Sargakshetra. Any doubts with regard to our course structure?
Students, the Sargakshetra is situated in Kottayam district, Charitable in Kerala. And as you must have understood, we are providing only with CA foundation course for the time being. Many were asking about CS, but this orientation is about CA foundation, and all the people whom you met were chartered accountants. So you can ask doubts about CA foundation. You being of this age group where you'll have to clear your CA foundation first, you can ask doubts regarding that. We all are waiting for your doubts and to clear your doubts and to help you out throughout your journey of class 11, 12, and BCom. We will be there with you. As I told you, Binu sir is our testimony. He has cleared, he was with us 10 years before, and he has cleared it in his first attempt, which means Sargakshetra has a track record of 10 years. And as you all know about Christ University, it is also a sister concern of Sargakshetra. This is managed by CMI fathers. Yes, some questions are coming. Binu Matthew, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Some questions are coming in the chat box about negative markings and all.
Yes, as said by the faculties of the Christ University, the CA Foundation is divided into 4 papers: the accountancy, business law, maths, and economics. So negative marks is in the maths and economics. It's 100% objective type question. So you will have a 0.25 negative marking for the wrong answers. That is compared to, like, if you have one mistake and 0.25 marks will be reduced, but that is not a huge amount, and it's okay. It's not a huge negative marking. It's like understandable. Bhumika S. Sargakshetra Coaching Center is situated in Kottayam, Kerala, and the classes will be conducted online. So you can attend the classes from anywhere. For intermediate and final, there is no negative marking. Intermediate and final is 100% descriptive questions with 20 marks of objective questions in few papers, but there is no negative marking in intermediate and final. For CA final, we have 2 groups of 4 papers each. Shreya, Mary.
Yes, after 12th also, you can join with us. You can join class 11 batch as well as class 12 batch. So it is structured like that. So you can do the whole full weekend with us. Simultaneously, you can do your studies also. So even if you have passed your 12th, you can join us. BCom first year students. I think this question has come from BCom first year students. There is a question how to apply the same phone number through which you got the link for this To the same phone number, you can put in your doubts and you will get all your answers through the same phone number. Yeah, somebody is asking about the fee structure and all. You can put in your doubt into the phone number. You will get the details. Details will be sent from Sargakshetra. Is it necessary to join for CA Foundation course at +1? Sir, can you answer that question?
See, as discussed earlier, the CA Foundation syllabus is an advanced version of our +1, +2 studies. So, if you join it from +1 itself, it will be really helpful for both your school, that is +1 and +2, and CA Foundation. Okay, so if, that's why we are recommending to join from your +1 itself, so that you can prepare both for your CA Foundation and school exams simultaneously and perform well in both.
Since we need to wind up this program, we are very time-bound people. The rest of the questions can be put across in the phone number provided. You will get answers for all your doubts. And I would like to invite Assistant Director, Brother Lijan Murail, to propose the formal vote of thanks.
A very good evening to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, brother.
I think Marina ma'am already thanked the great professors. As let me give take 1 or 2 minutes to thank all those who are helped for the success of this webinar. Respected Father Alex Pryker Singh, Director of Sargakshetra Academy, Professor Biju Thomas, Department of Professional Studies at Christ University, Professor Dalbir sir, Marina ma'am, and all respected resource person and my dear participants. Sargakshetra is a cultural and charitable academic center. Sargakshetra has a vision of creating a better society, and our motto is a better person for a better society. For this cause, we are organizing various programs. Today, we are coming to end of 2 days of webinar. I'm sure about some of us, some way we help you to identify your goal and build your future. I take this opportunity to propose a word of thanks to those who are directly and indirectly contributed for the success of this webinar. First of all, I would like to propose a word of thanks to our director, Father Alex Pryker from CMI, who is the backbone of this webinar. Thank you, Father, for your gracious presence and meticulous planning and your constant support for the success of this webinar. Next, I would like to thank a word of thanks to Professor Biju Thomas, Director of Department of Professional Studies at Christ University, for your great support and encouragement for this program. Professor Biju and his team arranged all these resource persons for this webinar. We are really enlightened with your knowledge, and you helped us to know the opportunities in commerce. Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and enriching words and constant support. I may like to express our sincere thanks to all the speakers of this 2-day webinar. Anudit sir, Raghavendra sir, Professor Bhavesh sir, Dalbir Singh, Avni, and our own faculty member, C.A. Binu sir. We thank you for your being with us for this webinar, for your motivating, inspiring, and sharing your experience in the field of CA and clarifying the participants' doubts. And thank you so much for your wholehearted support and the enthusiasm you showed towards the Sargakshetra. At the outset, we are thankful to Marina ma'am, Academic Coordinator of Sargakshetra Academy, for your great support, encouragement, and systematic arrangement of this webinar. I'd like to thank the Sargakshetra team members who are backbone of this webinar for your constant support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to our students for your active participation. We wish you all the best for your future. and we wish to see again with the Sargakshetra Academy. Once again, wishing you all the best and a bright future. And thank you all. Over to Marina, ma'am.
Yeah, so it's time to wind up. It's time to say goodbye, but definitely we will all meet soon for our program. And until then, bye and good night to all.